It's time for the Meat and Potato Show on the KTNT Radio Network, www.ktntradio.com.
Well, good morning, Senators. If I may, I'd like to begin by making a statement for the record. The file indicates that Ezra Kramer authorized 6...
The President convened an emergency cabinet meeting today to discuss the growing scandal over an alleged government assassination program codenamed Blackbriar. CIA Director Ezra Kramer is under criminal investigation for authorizing the program, which in several cases may have even targeted U.S. citizens. Two agency officials have already been arrested. Dr. Albert Hirsch, the alleged mastermind of the Blackbriar program, and CIA Deputy Director Noah Bose, the program's operational chief. Meanwhile, mystery surrounds the fate of David Webb, also known as Jason Bourne, the source behind the exposure of the Blackbriar program. It's been reported that Webb was shot and fell from a Manhattan rooftop into the East River 10 stories below. However, after a 3-day search, Webb's body has yet to be found.
Good evening, America, and welcome once again to the Meat and Potato Show, conservative talk and awesome rock. And of course, we are here at Ambush Studios here in Worcester, Massachusetts on the KTNT Radio Network. We've got a great show for you tonight. We're going to continue with part 2 of the Filthy Animals series, and CPS earns top spots. The Filthy Animals, the Meat and Potato Show, conservative talk and awesome rock. Well, here we go, folks, once more onto the breach. I have been working on the show talking about Child Protective Services for quite some time. My good friend Tim Scomo, who runs KTNT Radio, does a great show, Parental Revolution. This is one of the synergies that he and I work with. He does great stories on families caught up in the web of Child Protective Services. I do them as well. And between the two of us, it's amazing how much it's growing out there. The awareness, more and more people are getting more and more informed. And not only these people getting informed, they're telling other people. They're starting to reach out to other people where if somebody else is caught in the web of Child Protective Services, no longer is there that oh gee, I'm lost, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to turn, who do I talk to? There's now becoming all sorts of support groups out there, all sorts of ways to get information about this, all sorts of ways to fight the system. Not that it really matters, because the system they've got it so gamed right now that, I mean, you could hit them with a nuclear bomb and like cockroaches, they'll just come crawling back out again and just screwing up your life all over again. And so my guest tonight joins that ever unhappy growing list of victims of Child Protective Services, and people who try to go to the state, try to get help, try to reach out and just try to receive some sort of advice or help, and they end up basically getting screwed. Calling in from New Jersey, here on the East Coast. Very rare Meat and Potatoes gets East Coast people on. Usually everyone's far-flung across the nation. My good friend Yvonne Garcia. Yvonne, thank you so much for Skyping in tonight, and how are you tonight, dear?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you.
So, your story. Let's get right into basically, start from the beginning, I guess, and you've got some petitions that you want to talk about, and we can segue into that. Basically, start your story, Yvonne.
Okay, well, wow, I don't know.
Wherever you're comfortable at.
Where I can begin this, either the petition or when it currently happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell a brief story when it currently happened, and then I'll get into the petition.
Thank you.
I was 19 years old when I had a child. My daughter's name is Colina Mastrangelo, and she'll be 17 years old in April. And I was running into some financial problems, substance problems, um, emotional problems when I was younger. I had a lot to deal with at an early age. I had a whole household to take care of and a child, which caused me some emotional damage. And
Yeah, you had a lot on your
had a
plate.
lot of anger issues.
You had a lot on your plate going on.
Yeah, and it just escalated. I mean, thank God that I worked through it. You know, we all grow out of that, but it reflected on in altercations with neighbors, and as that occurred in my life, they decided to call DIFUS on me. That's the name that we call it.
Right.
In the
Yeah,
state
every
of New
state has a
Jersey.
different name. Here in Massachusetts,
It's a CPS.
and it's DCF here in Department of Children and Families here in Massachusetts. What do they call it down there? Say that again. CIFA? What is that?
DIFUS.
Well, like doofus.
Division in Family Youth and Service.
There you go. There's a mouthful for you. Go ahead, hon. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and so I decided when they took my child away, I decided to go into recovery and to establish why I was going through these problems, exalt the problems that I was having and the issues in my life, and understand, you know, what was happening. And, you know, as a result of that, I did find out that I had a substance problem and anger issues towards everything, just life in general. So, as I examined those problems, I ran into other problems. I got out of my recovery, did very well in my recovery, and I decided to make a move to Edison, New Jersey. And when I decided to make a move, I think that they called upon an investigation. And I had a DIFUS record, and at the same time, Family Resource had to get connected to DIFUS to state that I made a move. And, you know, because I wasn't living there, so they were concerned. Like, where am I? Where's my child? And I told them, go ahead, because I haven't really seen one in 7 months. Like, there was no, like, issues or anything that was occurring in my life. So I said, you know, go ahead, do what you got to do. So I get a knock at the door. I open the door. It was a police officer and a DIFUS worker. And I'm thinking of my past, like, because I guess it kind of like scarred me as well. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're thinking that I'm on some type of substance or something, you know. So
all
they
because
told me to do a urine test on me.
all because you moved. I keep going. I can't.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the story's going to get incredibly insane in about 2 minutes. Go ahead.
So they said they had to remove my child. And I asked them, what did I do? Because I'm thinking it's something I did that I don't know what I did. Usually what happens. And I kept on asking, they really didn't have an explanation, and I repeatedly, over and over. The woman walked outside the house. I'm thinking, I'm not 100% sure, that she had to call in to find out exactly why they were removing my child. She came back in the house, she looked at me, she says, you did not do anything wrong. And I said, well,
then good. Get the hell out of here. That's what I would have said and shut the
removing my
door.
child if I did not do anything wrong? Usually, you know, there's something. They did not have no warranties to remove my child as well. So I repeated again, why are you removing my child? They said, well, you better look at the person you're with and ask them. So I asked, like, what did you do wrong? Why are they taking my child away? And he says, I didn't do nothing. And I looked at them. He said, I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't do anything. They said that they didn't know at the time. I had to wait for a few court dates because they came unprepared to court, which means because they didn't have anything, no solid evidence against me. It took them a couple of months to do fact finders because they had to do investigation because I just moved there. It was like I was living my past again.
Now, meanwhile, during all the, now during this entire thing, the fact-finding mission, getting the court dates, the child is now in their custody, right? At this time.
Because the person had a bad background. They told me that it was simple assault and it was dropped. To find out the person had sexual assault, which I didn't know my life was in danger. They could have came to me and say, listen, you and your child's life is in danger right now. So it took me a very long time to find out, which the courts did not provide me with, I'm in danger. Which I also state that, I also have wrote in the courts if they find a woman and a child and that parent is a safe child, to allow that parent to leave. I've written so many different things I can't even count anymore.
Yeah.
That I've written to let that child leave with their parents, even if they have to remove them into a shelter for that night, because I did not know anybody. In the I'm just starting my life over again. I came from living in a motel because I got out of rehab. My baby's father lost my home. We owned a trailer together.
Right.
He lost it. We had it for 4 years, and he lost it within 3 or 4 months. And I'm the one that was the main provider of the house.
Right, right. I remember in your bio you had said, you were working 2 jobs, and the other.
2 jobs.
Yeah, the father of the child. There was nothing. He wasn't doing anything, and this was causing a lot of stress and a lot of problems in your relationship.
And I'm thinking that's where my anger. I found out I went to, as you've seen on my bio, I went to one stream to another.
Right.
I was working 6 days a week, and I would have done anything in the world to spend 1 day with my family. Slept on the 7th day, and then I got to the point where it hurted me so much being around him because he did not want to help me maintain our home, to the point where my emotions shut down.
How old was this person, or how old was he at the time?
He was 32, maybe 30.
Yeah. At that point in time, folks, come on, guys. Come on, let's go. Step up to the plate. Go on, hon.
So, I was really upset when I found out also we lost our home. And they figured out since it was the second time me losing custody, even though the first one was 100% my fault, the second one they stated it wasn't my fault. 100%, it was somebody with a bad back. Because they have to do background checks, whoever lives inside the house, to make sure the child's safe. So that's what exactly happened in my story.
Well, is it the same father? It's the father, right? That was that when they came to your house the second time, or is this a new boyfriend?
No, this was a new boyfriend.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, word to the wise.
And it came to a shock. It came to a shocking to me because I did know this gentleman for over 5 years. And we did not have a sexual relationship very quickly. It took we dated for a good 6 months. So it was very shocking to me to find out this information.
Yeah, he had a skeleton in his closet that he was hiding. Yeah, really. Seriously. So they take your child away based on the fact that you're with somebody else. And instead of just, like you said earlier, as you were telling your story, instead of them coming to you and saying, hey, we have this information, we can provide you. See, folks, this is what I'm talking about. Instead of them coming to her and saying, we have this information, we can provide you with a shelter, a safe place, we need to work on removing this person out of your life and out of the child's life so that you and the child are safe. And then do everything in their power of the state to help you. Now, their first instant knee-jerk reaction is abduct your child.
And then it took them a couple of months to let me know.
Yeah, to figure it out what they're going to do, right.
Because they had to do finders, investigate, because they did not have anything. The judge was so frustrated in the beginning of the case. She's like, I cannot believe you guys came here unprepared. You don't know why the reason why this child is removed? So it took a couple of court cases for them to gather up any type of information. They gather up everything from my past, from my what they did was since they didn't have anything on me, because I just moved to the state of Edison.
All right.
So they didn't have anything that criminally I was doing yet.
Sure, right,
So
right.
what they did was took everything from past recovery papers. She went to recovery, she this and that, and like basically made it like it just happened when it was over like a year ago.
Sure, right. Now,
So
now,
it was like,
hang on, I want to interrupt you one more time, and I'm sorry about that. Just so we can clarify. So you're in the court case, and the judge is saying, I can't believe you people aren't prepared for this.
they come prepared.
Now, yeah, exactly. Now, what did the judge do? Did she re-grant you custody and say, no, put the child back with the mother right now, and then get your court case together? Or no, you're nodding your head no. So, no, you get to keep the child, Child Protective Services, while you get your act together. Isn't that stunning? Oh my God, it's magical.
They don't even know why they took my child
Right.
away.
Oh, but
So
you can-
now
no, you
there's time of our lives that has passed away because they haven't gathered enough evidence to do fact finding.
And how old is the child at this time? Not now, but at the time this was going on.
She's 6 years old because she just turned 6.
So she was just a baby, for crying out loud. 5 years
And
old,
she
6
was
years.
about to go in the first grade.
See, a time when a parent should be happy. My child is 5 now. They're going to first grade or kindergarten, whatever that is. My kids are all grown now. I can't even remember what it is now. But yeah, when you're supposed to be taking pictures of child's first day at school, yada yada. Poor Yvonne here is fighting the battle of her life. Continue, honey. Go ahead.
So, I decided to move out of that person's house. Somebody, they didn't even tell me, like, basically, like, listen, if you don't remove yourself right now, this is going to affect your custody. They didn't allow me nothing. A friend of mine went through the papers, and they're like, Yvonne, you have to leave. If you don't leave right now, they're never going to give you back your child. So I said, I do want to leave because I'm finding out more and more about this person. It's not looking very good.
Right.
So my life was in danger. So they said, well, I'm going to get an apartment. You want to move in with me? I said, yeah. So I had to wait 3 months. If I knew what I knew back then, I would have went into a shelter.
Right.
This is why I have wrote in the court system. It's very important when any type of domestic violence or anything that's occurring, keep that child with the safe child. You move that child into a shelter, and to the parent can figure out, and maybe family resource. And that is my main goal for families to do, so they won't experience what I've been through.
Where is your child now?
She's she's been forcibly adopted,
Good God.
and I've made a law underneath her name. Well, it's in a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a process. A lot of people throughout the United States does know about Kalina's law. I've also made a statue of decorations
Excellent.
of
Excellent.
Kalina's law.
Sure.
It's swear oath underneath her name. I've also got letters from Capitol Hill, which we all know that's the White House, thanking me for introducing me to the law. They have also wrote numerous letters for me, um, helping me create this law, and I know for other people, because these papers are not just only for me; they're for other people that have been through my predicament.
And this is what I mean about the fact that there are other people now out there. This whole thing is growing, and there's more support groups out there. There's more people. How I want to ask you. You know, I'm never surprised at meeting people online, meeting people through social media, mostly through this whole thing of Child Protective Services. Um, how did you hear about my show? How did you hear about me?
Well, I was petitioning, and I sent you a friend request.
There you go. There you go.
And
Yeah, but
you
how'd you?
answered my friend-
Yeah, but how'd you get my name? How'd you find out about me? I'm trying to go back a little further. It's just always interesting to find the road. How did we meet?
I find a lot of interesting people, and like how I found a lot of the interesting, I send them a friend request. I sent you a friend request. I've had sent a friend request one time to the clerk of Congress, and they signed my petition.
Mm-hmm.
So I've found so many. I've been blessed to find so many important people, even though everybody on my petition is important. But it's like I've ran into so many like amazing people. I ran into people that have talked to Congress. I have been to talk to people that their bill is like on the presidential debate. So, and these are my friends. These are people that try to talk to me every day, and it's just amazing me. It amazes me.
And you find yourself having you're educating yourself. You're finding out, believe it or not, what you've done is you've taken a step into the political process. A lot of people in America, they think, oh, I don't care about politics, until something like this happens to them. And then they realize, crap, I didn't give a crap about politics. I didn't give a crap about the courts or what was going on there. But yet you got sucked up into their vacuum. And now guess what? Now you've got to do this. It's what I call the dookie dance. You know what a dookie is? It's a big pile of steaming you-know-what. Now you got to do the dookie dance. Now you got to go through all these, you got to get hold of these people, you got to listen to their bullshit all the time, you've got to get involved in it, you've got to educate yourself, and you were probably perfectly happy moving, getting a new place, getting your life together, being with your daughter, and then this giant turd out of the sky lands on your head, for crying out loud. And that's basically what has happened.
Yeah, I ran into a lot of bad luck in my life. I mean, but I call it my trials and tribulations of life. Instead of like most, I know I said bad luck, but I would really like reword it and say trials and tribulations, and it's just mines were just damaging, but I'm in the process of looking to help people like in fighting custody battles, giving them the best legal advice that I have, because basically I found out I was my own attorney. I did not, even though I was a signed attorney, I really didn't have an attorney.
Yeah, they all work for they all work for the system. Even though they're assigned to you, they work for the system too. They get paid regardless of whether they win or lose the case. What are the chances? Do you see your daughter at all?
No, but I'm in a process where I try to go to court every month because she is 17 years old, and I'm talking to her. I found her on the internet, I'm talking to her, and the woman does not want me to have any relations with my daughter because that's her child, supposedly. And but you know, she doesn't know like I'm in the mix of making a law, and I get nervous sometimes. I said all the things she's gonna find out. She's gonna look at like, oh, she probably thought I was a bad mother towards her child.
No, no. Here's what's going to
It's
happen.
two people getting hurt, okay? The mother and the person that wanted to be a mother.
Hmm.
And I do understand that. There's adoption and then there's forced adoption.
Right, exactly.
I think the person should sue the shit out of, excuse me.
No, you're all right.
Sue the heck out of them. for
No,
whatever
sue the
she
shit out of
did
them.
to her.
That's it. No, you can say it. It's uncensored radio here. Don't worry about it, hon. All right. So but are you're able to somehow secretly speak with your daughter from time to time?
Well, I've have a couple of times, but she told me like to back off because she didn't want any problems.
Sure.
So that's what I did. I give her the space.
Sure.
I told her that I hired an investigator to send the woman a piece of paper stating that I wanted to be a part of her life, and I'm trying my best. But it seems like that the courts are not working with me once more again.
Sure. No, they won't.
And I'm thinking, I know 100% I'm going to have to hire an attorney because I don't know if they brainwashed her or something because my daughter knows that I love her. There wasn't a day that went by when I had her, I told her I loved her.
Then here's the thing: is she's 17 now. She's going to be 18. Eventually, she's going to be a legal adult, and her parents aren't going to have any legal control over it whatsoever. They could impose that. Well, as long as you live under my roof, you live by my rules. I always thought that was.
And that's another thing I'm afraid of. I'm afraid they might actually tell her, listen, you're gonna have to pick and choose. That came to my mind because since she doesn't want me a part of her life. So I'm progressing, and I say, please let me be wrong, because I always don't want to be right. So I'm like, please let me be wrong about this. Please let me be wrong about this, because
Yeah, you don't want to find her out on the street or something, right?
Resentments against the other person.
Exactly, exactly. The point I was trying to make here is that is all this work that you're doing. Eventually, your daughter's going to find out about it, regardless of whether you want her to or not. And I think you should let her find out, so that any misgivings that she has in her mind about you, you can quite literally prove to her, look, I've been fighting for this. I've been doing this for all of this time, just to try to get you back and get you back into my life. And unfortunately, you can't get back those 17, 18 years that you've lost with your child, but all you can do is try to do the best thing now for that child and let that child know that this is what I've done. I've been working behind the scenes trying to make this whole thing right. And it sounds like she comes from good stock, Yvonne, so I wouldn't worry about that. I think eventually she'll come around. And
the person that does have her, they are very well established.
but
And
are they a wealthy family? Are they well off?
I would say very well established.
Okay.
I guess wealthy to me is like almost on the types of I would say, rich.
Yeah, right, exactly. Wealthy. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
But
established
they
and
are,
yeah.
well established, definitely.
So yeah, you do have that thing against you. A family of means and a family with elevated income is always, it's tough to fight. They could always hire a cutthroat attorney to absolutely eviscerate
They
you
don't
if they
have
want.
because supposedly she is an attorney.
Oh my God.
And this is the reason why I don't have custody.
Oh, good Lord. Oh no. The filthy animals. That's exactly what it is. So, yeah, so she's been adopted by an attorney. Oh, great. Great. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've definitely
so,
got your work cut out for you. I guess all you can
and
do. Go ahead.
she definitely knows the law.
And I guess at this point in time, all that you can really do is just keep trying to work behind the scenes, and as your daughter enters adulthood, just let her make the decision. And you know that might be end up being the best thing anyway, because then at least you know she wants to come and see you. She wants to find out what happened. She's gonna want, because I got news for you. She may be adopted. Practically every adopted child, and when I talk about adoption, what I mean is normal adoption. A child who was orphaned or, just whatever, and the child is adopted. At some point in time in that child's adult life, they want to look back. They want to say, well, where did I come from? Sometimes it's a medical issue, and the doctors will say, look, you're going to have to find your birth mother because we need to get a medical workup. God forbid anything should horribly happen. But these are the things that usually trigger it. So at some point in time, your daughter is going to want that void filled in her life. She's going to want to know, well, what the hell happened here? Why am I with this family, or why was I raised by this family? And who is my birth mother, and what was the story behind it? And what you have is you have a very powerful weapon in your arsenal right now, and that is all of your hard work that you've been doing. And you present that to her. When she comes knocking on your door, you show her, and you sit down, you have coffee with her, and you just calmly explain the whole thing, and you talk to her. Let her make that decision. Unfortunately, go ahead.
That's what I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to subpoena her to court. Because the courts don't, I'm thinking she's just throwing away these papers, because these attorneys, oh, I really don't have to go. Now, if you subpoena somebody, you have to go to court.
There you go. Right,
So
exactly.
I'm trying to get them to subpoena her
Sure.
and then have my daughter go on the stand. Because I'm thinking at the age of 16, they can make their statement.
Sure, exactly. Right, exactly. That is true. That's a perfect segue. Talk about your petition. Talk about what it is that you're doing now.
Okay, well, what I'm doing is I'm gathering up signature, and what I do is every 500 signatures, it goes to the President of the United States, Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for everybody to put a comment down when they do sign it, because I'm the one that's listening, and so is everybody else throughout the United States. And the more we share our stories and our experience, I believe the more that we can help each other out.
Sure, right, exactly. Exactly, sure.
And what else I'm trying to do is with Colleen as well, I'm trying to have where it does not go against rules, regulations, policies, and constitutional rights.
Exactly.
It seems like the court system does not need to listen to legislative work, Congress work, but if these laws were built or they're a law.
Yeah, codified by Congress, right, exactly.
In your court system.
Exactly.
And it seems to me that they make up their own rules. They go by their own rules, their own regulations.
Sure, exactly.
And it's wrong because the parents are not going to always be compliant to rules and regulations that they don't know about. They're only going to be compliant to the rules and regulations they know about the court systems that they wanted to conduct of them.
Exactly.
That's the perfectionism of what they expect from them. So now it's like, okay, well, you're turning this into a rule. You're turning this into a policy. Like, it's not enforced. you know, and it seems to me that a lot of parents are, they're making a lot of parents fail when they didn't fail. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of parents that have been approved by DIFAS. I've been approved by DIFAS. I was a mother that I was so honored in DIFAS to the point where I could take out my child by myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I and then you got the courts going against DIFAS recommendations when they want the parents to have the children. And it's like, I come to the point where in my mind, how many parents have been approved and their child is not home? I've been approved. My child is not home.
Yeah, your child never came home. Exactly. Absolutely correct. That is absolutely horrible. That is a very sad, sad story. What courts when they the judges when they hand these things down. You're probably well aware that in adoption there's a lot of money. There's a lot of federal money that gets sent to the states, the child protective services in that state. And I wouldn't doubt it that this money gets passed around. I'm sure there's a lot of kickbacks going on.
It goes up to $20,000, and I'm gonna tell you something. I found out there was. I'm not too sure about it, but if I do find out, you're gonna be hearing from me again, and so is the whole United States. Okay?
Yeah, if there was a
I
bribe,
found out
sure, a payoff.
that
Oh, there
some of
probably
these
was.
babies
Yeah.
going into adoption agencies, and the parents are still fighting custody for them.
Right.
And as soon as they put an amount bigger on them, the parents don't, no matter what they do, what compliances that they may have, they don't give back the child.
Sure, right, exactly. No, they
So
don't.
that amazes me.
It's kind of like voter fraud, folks. And when you find out that somebody got elected through voter fraud, they don't go to the sitting senator or the sitting congressman and say, sorry, you got to vacate your seat because you won your seat by voter fraud. No, the fraud candidate gets to keep the fraud seat. And it's the same thing like this. These people, even though they're approved, everything's stamped and corrected and signed on the bottom line. Yeah, they still end up not getting their child. And it just keeps
Yeah.
going on. I wouldn't doubt it though if there was a payoff.
There's a lot of things that people don't know. I pay child support. I've been paying something for the past 17 years almost.
And that's the other thing. They make you pay child
I don't know,
support.
something,
Right.
something. And I'm thinking that if I find out this is true, I swear I'm going. The whole universe is going to know about it. Like I said, the babies that are being sold, like these parents are getting like, even though I've never received one, a thing that states that they owe child support.
Sure.
Okay, for example, like 6 months later, you owe $20,000 of child support, knowing that your child's only been in the custody of DIFAS for 6 months.
Right. Yeah, they come up with some arbitrary number.
That off, they get their child back. It's like, okay, now these people are literally buying their children back of how much they're gonna actually sell them for, and then the courthouses act like they don't know this is going on. That amazes me.
The filthy animals. It's exactly what it is. These people are dirty, rotten, filthy. So what's next for you? I mean, you're working very hard doing this. She's 17 now. I know you're doing your petitions. How are you doing? How are you emotionally? How are you? How are you handling it?
I am scarred, and I came to the conclusion that I am damaged. Okay? And if I'm damaged, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to wallow. Every single day, I'm going to find ways to help these parents. I'm going to find ways to create this law to help children. I'm hoping when my daughter turns 18 years old, she will help children herself.
Right.
I wanna help them legally, I want to help them physically, and I want to help them also emotionally, because I've been through, like I said, substance. I've been through also going through emotional issues because I couldn't spend time with my family. It that also emotionally scarred me at the time to shut my emotions down, and it was like I was the opposite. I didn't want to be around them.
Where are your parents? Do you have a support system? Any family? I mean, your family, your mom, your dad,
No,
brothers,
they
sisters.
also brought that up as well. Since I don't have anybody supporting me, I supported myself since I was a very young, at a very young age. And since I didn't have support, they thought that would be a big uh, failure in my life. But to me, that has been the biggest strength, and I would not be the person who I was if I didn't have to stand on my 2 feet and somebody had to constantly pick me up.
Well, here's the thing: you're your own person. You're your own self-made person. That's. I'm sorry. That's called independence. That's what that is. I'm an independent person. I did this all by myself. You got no apologies. Trust me, Yvonne. You have no apologies to make to anybody for anything. Everybody goes through life. Everybody has these problems. The problems that you had. It happens to millions of people. What defines a person is how you rise above it, how you dig yourself out of that hole, and how you move on and you start a new chapter in your life. And so anything that has happened to you in the past, that even if it's something that you yourself caused in your life, there's no sense wallowing in it. There's no sense worrying about it. It's in the past. It's gone. You can't do anything about it. All that matters is here and now and moving forward. And that's it. You are an independent, self-made person. And you've got nothing to apologize for, kiddo, at all. And I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. What I want you to do is, you have my email address. If you've got any of those documents, like on your computer or anything, just send them to me. I'd like to look at them, and I'd like to do what I can to send them all over the place.
Look at the Capitol Hill paper?
Yeah,
or
anything.
The statue of
Basically,
decorations of Paulina's Road?
send me everything is what I want you to send me.
Okay.
So I can look at everything, and yeah, we can spread it around. And you should probably get hold of Tim Scomo, who does Parental Revolution. I'll actually refer your name to him as well, and he'll probably get you on his show to tell the story as well. Because and what I want to do is, as we go along in this year, I'll revisit you. We'll get you back on again a month or two from now. Find out what's going on, what progress you've made, if you or if you've run into some stumbling block somewhere. We'll talk about that. And
I'm ready to make flyers. I'm ready to do so many things, like, because I sit here and write, and for Congress reasons, I have to write.
of course.
But I said to myself, how can I help somebody just sitting here and just writing? Like, I want to help these families. I want to be able to help these young people so they won't experience what they experience, and if there are any violent cases,
Certainly.
or any financial, have to do with, poverty, or in my situation,
Right.
had no support. I was the main support, uneducated, and had to work 3 jobs that didn't even equal up to 1.
Yeah, working. And that's the other thing too, is they take advantage. Somebody that has a lower income. I'm going to use the word, somebody who's working poor. Child Protective Services routinely picks on these people. They know, because they haven't got the financial means to fight back. They're easy targets. Yes, sometimes there's drug
And
abuse,
they're
alcohol
scared.
abuse, that kind of thing, and they're scared. They're scared. They're struggling week to week to make ends meet. They're trying to raise their children, and they're scared. And so these people come out of nowhere. A giant turd from the sky lands on their heads, and people, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to deal with it. People like Yvonne, myself, Parental Revolution, my show, and some of the other organizations that are out there, it's all growing now. It's all growing.
And
More and more
you
people
find
are getting.
me in
Go ahead.
almost every group in the state of New Jersey.
Now, Facebook. I think if I remember correctly, what is it? Beating the Drum for Child Justice. I think there's a page. I think you're on that one. I'm not sure. Yeah, are you? Yes?
I'm on all of them.
Right. Yeah, and keep posting your stuff. And get yourself out there. And then, if you can, yeah, I'm going to do a little shameless advertising here, Yvonne. Tell them about the show. Tell them, say, call this guy. Get on his show. Get on there and talk about it. Because there's something about radio, and internet radio is a huge expanding market. You know, you reach hundreds of thousands of people across the country, and because it's a niche market, because you can target certain types of people, this whole CPS thing, which is a big thing that my show and Parental Revolution does a lot of, it's gaining awareness, and more people are getting educated, and that's probably the best we can do. Educate as many people as possible so that we become a formidable force. And eventually, hopefully, we can put some legals together and go in and actually fight these people and expose them and get this entire system completely torn down and not replaced.
Hopefully everybody, you know, like the parents receive, the ones that do try to, like, went through like a situation like me and tried to recover from it, it's not used against them. See, if I didn't want to do it, or I didn't want to,
Sure.
See, if I didn't want to do it, or was not going to do it, and trying to find my way out of it, I could see you being used against me. I don't think somebody that is trying to fix something life that they know it's not right be used against them in a court of law.
Exactly
because
right.
Should be honored if they're taking that initial step to fix their life.
Yeah, that's a brave thing to do. That's a brave thing, and you're right. That should be a star on the page, not some sort of, well, you know, they have a drug and alcohol problem, and you know,
to drag you down.
To drag you down. Yvonne, I want to thank you so much. God bless you. The best of luck with all of this. Send me that stuff. I want to look at it, and I'm gonna spread it all over the network, and more people. Send me some emails. Let me know what's going on. Keep me posted on your progress. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking this time and telling your story.
And I just wanted to let everybody know that you can go to Stop Forced Adoption, called Kalina's Law. You can sign the petition. If you need any legal advice, which I do want to state this, I am not an attorney. I am willing to help you with any legal problems that you may have. And if you need anything that is written, it would be titled underneath Kalina's Law. But I'm also willing to write any type of statements that you might need legally in a legal format for your courts.
Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, Yvonne Garcia, calling from New Jersey. What an absolutely horrendous story. I wish you the best of luck. God bless you, dear.
Thank you. You too.
All right, we'll be talking soon, kiddo.
Okay, great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.